What do you know, folks? We have yet another Baby Yoda that has landed at my doorstep today. Huge thank you to the Toy Depot store down in San Diego. They had this in stock before anyone else. I reached out to the seller to figure out, hey, what's going on? You know, I have my pre-orders from Target and Big Bad Toy Store and Disney and everywhere else. And he said, well, I just got a shipment sooner and I could not be happier. He sent them right out. His links will be down below in the description. Make sure to check him out, give him some support, and always keep an eye out on new in-stock merchandise because clearly it seems like you'll get your Baby Yodas or any other Star Wars figure or just any type of toy before the major retailers. Now, this is the Hasbro talking plush figure that was supposed to come out in a couple weeks, but like I said, we were able to get him. Don't be confused with the actual animatronic figure that's supposed to come out later on this year. I think that one is supposed to be closer to the Mattel size, but actually have all the movements with the mouth and the ears and the arms, and basically when you squeeze it or press some kind of button, he moves and makes the sounds. This one, he only makes the sounds when you squeeze him, but we'll get a closer look at him in just a moment. And of course, we will compare him to the Mattel. I won't be comparing him to the Build-A-Bear because I think the Build-A-Bear Baby Yoda plush is in its own unique plush category, whereas the Mattel and this Hasbro one are kind of similar. And I also have the other Hasbro 6.5-inch figure that doesn't talk or anything, but it does have a few points of articulation. But right now, this video will focus on the talking Baby Yoda from Hasbro. So this is how the packaging does come. We see Baby Yoda right here in the open window box packaging. It's a pretty unique package too, something different, and it's supposed to resemble his cradle. Of course, it's the elongated version, and it's you know, it's pretty cool, pretty unique. I'm liking this design too. Here we have Star Wars, The Mandalorian, The Child, Hasbro and Disney. Here it says talking plush, which I'm surprised they didn't make that more prominent because so far this is the only, I guess, talking plush. Again, if you don't count the Build-A-Bear version. And here it shows squeeze and in different languages how to squeeze. And right there you have to squeeze him right, I guess, on his chest area. And another little diagram showing how to squeeze with the sounds. This is also the version that comes with the little frog that he eats. And I can't recall what is in the back right there, but we will open up the packaging and get a closer look. There is a cute picture of Baby Yoda, more like an illustration. Here we have what is included, and actually it looks like that little ring is the soup bowl that he is drinking from when we first meet Gina Carano's character, Cara Dune. And again, Star Wars, The Mandalorian, The Child, a mysterious alien pursued by bounty hunters on behalf of Imperial interests. It's a quick note right there. Again, the sound coming from the squeezing, and it looks like this has 10 sounds, which will be interesting. And frog and bowl. I'm not sure if he makes any sounds when you put that by his mouth, but of course it adds a little bit more of an interactive component to it. Well, let's get him opened up and get a closer look at this new Baby Yoda. We have taken out Baby Yoda from his little packaging. And really quick, I do want to compare him to the Mattel plush. And as you can see, he is quite a bit taller, the Mattel version that is. And let me get the height. We have them out. And the Hasbro Baby Yoda, and he is on his feet right now, stands at just about maybe 7 inches tall. Whereas the other one, the Mattel version, is what I think it came to 12 inches or so, 11.5 inches. So quite a big difference. And granted, the Mattel is an actual plush, so he is going to have I guess a thicker body, but this one is going to be more like Baby Yoda style in a sense. So I would actually say the face sculpt is pretty similar. This one looks a little bit thinner, I guess. His cheeks don't look as plump there. They look good. They both look good. Let me get him out of the way. Let's go ahead and start with the accessories first. This is the soup bowl that you do see him drinking from. Very simple. I don't think Hasbro could have gone any simpler or easier on a accessory. Even here, I think they really cheaped out on the actual filling because you can't really tell anything. Like you can't tell what this is. Of course, if you are a fan of the show, you watched it, you will completely understand that this is the soup bowl. But even then, it's just, I don't know, it's something so simple. I know it's hard to make elaborate and put a lot of detail in, but I think at least they could have filled up the actual cup with something more liquid looking than just this kind of gelish plastic at the bottom to make it appear as though he is drinking soup. And there are these two holes here too. I'm not quite sure what those are for because there's no way to attach this to Baby Yoda or the child. And I mean, if you want to fill it with something, you can't really do that because these holes are just going to make everything leak out. But the sides and the brim are kind of detailed. You can feel the textures running across it, so that's pretty cool. At least they did something. And decent paint apps. And it's actually more of a rubberish material, so it does bend slightly. So it's not that hard, but if you do hit it, it is still pretty hard too. So that is about it for the soup bowl. Here is the frog, the one-eyed frog that he does eat. And this is pretty cool. It's something pretty interesting. There's no mobility, no flexibility or articulation. And it is pretty stiff. You can't bend it too much, but if you do bend it too much, it'll probably break the legs. So do be careful with that. It's a nice teal green running throughout with some designs on his back. Kind of looks blue in certain lighting, but in person it definitely has more of the greenish teal look. That single eye right there. That's about it. Just a super simple frog accessory or added component to Baby Yoda. Now, of course, what you are all here for, let's take a look at Baby Yoda. First and foremost, he has feet. This one does have his little feet. Look how cute those little feet are. He is difficult to stand though. When you just put him down like that on any flat surface, he will lean forward and you kind of have to reposition him. So it's kind of like the plush where you have to really work at it to get him to stand up straight. And the problem is there's no support for the feet. His body is basically like a plushy material too, or just a soft stuffed material. And the feet, I mean, there's nothing there and they're not that flat. So you can't expect it to stand just on the feet itself. You have to really position it so the body is also resting on whatever surface you want it on. Let's get some details in the face. The face looks pretty good actually. I think it's hard. They both look like Baby Yoda from the show. It just, even though he's an animatronic in the show, he has so many different expressions. And I think, kind of close, but it is hard. I mean, they do look very similar. I think, like I said, the Mattel has the chubbier cheeks on it. And on the Hasbro one, his mouth is a little bit more closed. But it still looks good. I think it looks more like adult Yoda here in the Hasbro version than the Mattel version, or just the way Baby Yoda actually does look. We have his big eyes. Now these eyes are different than the others. These actually seem like they are painted on the plastic, whereas the other eyes do seem like they are additional eyeballs that are put into the head. These just seem like they are sculpted into the head and painted. And you can kind of tell from the textures too and the way it is designed that, yeah, these are definitely just painted. You can also see the brush strokes on the eyes there as well. And we do see a little bit of pink on each cheek and ever so slightly around the eyes. Nothing really around the mouth, and that's okay. That was the other issue with some of the Mattel pieces. And very slightly in the ears. It isn't very smooth. It does kind of have a rough, almost reptile texture to it, but not like the rubbery sliminess, just kind of that scaliness almost. And he does have pretty good color. We don't have that issue with the Mattel one either, but he is still off, I think. I think the Target version in my last comparison video from Mattel has the best paint so far. This one is a little bit hazy and dusty looking. He's not that good in the green category. And there's the back, and we do see the stamp from Lucasfilm and Hasbro 2020. So he is official. And his little robe is also a little bit lighter in color. It's not that darker brown that I had hoped for to, really get close to the show. And I think I left one of the little tags in here. But it's still very simple. It's more of a vinyl material here. And we have the softer cotton around the collar and the neck. And you can kind of just readjust that however you need to. And this one does not button or detach either, so that's okay. You don't have to worry about that. Here are his little hands. The hands do run plastic all the way to the body. I do wish they painted the fingernails different. I'm surprised. Mattel and Build-A-Bear got that right. And it looks like both Hasbro figures, and since I have the other one, this one I'll do in another review. It looks like they either forgot to or they just didn't realize they had to paint the fingernails. And even, let me see, even in the picture, no, yeah, even the pictures do show his fingernails are not painted. But here you can tell they are a little bit brown. A little bit of a disappointing aspect of it. Such a small detail that should have been paid attention to, and they just decided to paint the entire fingernail green along with the hand and the arms. And these arms do go again to the body, whereas the feet, he doesn't really have the legs, just these little stubs that attach to the body. Let me go ahead and lift this up to show you where the voice box does sit in here. And the tag, and of course if you need to change the battery or anything, that is here also. So let's go ahead and listen to all the sounds. They did say there are 10, so let's see if we can get through all of them. I don't know what that was supposed to be. Okay, I think I got through all the sounds. I'm a little bit disappointed that most of the sounds seem like he's just crying. I think we had 1 or 2 giggles in there. And I mean, we do hear quite a few sounds in Baby Yoda in the show, but this one just seems like they're all sad sounds, except for those 1 or 2. I mean, let me play some of them again. I guess that's an excited sound? I'm not quite sure. Okay, that can be a happier sound, more like the curious squeak he makes. I guess, I don't know what that was. That's his worried about to cry, maybe poop his pants sound. Another worried sound. It was okay. There's a laugh. And he's crying. Okay, I think we get the picture. So the sounds aren't the greatest choices, but you do hear them pretty well, even through the body and the clothing. And it is a little bit muffled here and there, but I think overall the sounds do come out pretty good. And really quick, I wanted to get the weight just to give you an idea of how small this guy actually is. And it's been a trend lately. I've been getting all the aspects of these figures. And make sure he stands. And he comes in at 6.7 ounces, so pretty good weight. You definitely feel it more in the body where the speaker is, but the head has most of the weight, of course, too. Well, there you have it, folks. Thanks for tuning in for another Baby Yoda merchandise review. This, again, is the Hasbro talking Baby Yoda plush figure. Again, be sure to check out the link for the Toy Depot down below, and if he has any more left in stock, order him up. He will ship the next day and get you your Baby Yoda as quick as possible. And make sure to subscribe to my channel and stay tuned for my next video review.